Hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I want to talk to you about morals. So lately I've been binge watching a lot of cartoons and anime, just going back and revisiting some of my favorite shows or anime series that I ever loved. And I came to a realization that I didn't realize before. Uh, a lot of our heroes in our shows or series end up the heroes are actually the villains. And this all started for me with Steven Universe. I saw the Steven Universe movie and I came to the realization that Rose or Pink Diamond, which is Rose, Steven's mother, is actually evil. And I was like, what? And how didn't I see this before? That she is actually the villain of the story, but they paint her as the hero of the story. She literally brainwashed everybody. She mistreated everybody from Spinel all the way to all her friends. And then she literally, because she liked Earth to the point where she literally make Earth go through war with a bunch of people getting bodied, including her own kind, making war in the planet she so-called loved, and all because of her own moral beliefs. Her own moral beliefs literally took her to be the villain of the story. But this is not the first time I run into something like this. It's a very common thing that people think they're the morally superior character to everybody else, that they know what's right, but they end up being the true villain of the story. For example, we have Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time, which, come on, I'm not the only person that's seen how evil she could truly be, because she wants so much control to the point where she's a dictator. She literally rules over the Candy Kingdom for their own good, but then when you see the backstory, you realize that she used the dum-dum juice to keep everybody dumb to make it easier for her to rule over everybody, because it's her way or there's nothing. It has to be her way, and there's no other way to do it besides her way, literally making her a dictator over the kingdom. And that's crazy to me. Like, literally, you see the story, and she on purposely made everybody dumb to make them easier to control. And you see this throughout a bunch of universes. Like, let's step away from cartoons and go into, like, for example, we got Batman. Batman follows his moral code of not unaliving anybody. He doesn't unalive anybody, which literally makes everybody not fear him. Literally, when there's no consequences, the criminals just go wild. That's why Gotham City is the darkest and the cruelest and the worst crime-riddled city in the history of comics. Everybody knows Gotham City is the worst place on Earth, and the reason is that the criminals don't pay consequences because Batman just forgives them. He just lets them slide. They just go to prison and then get out because either they're paid by mafia or they escape. Literally everybody that's followed the Batman universe knows that 99% of the villains were created by Batman's own hands. Like, they were just criminals and then they became supervillains like the Joker out of Batman's own hands. Like, let me give you another example. In the series Invincible, we got Invincible. Obviously, his dad, Omni-Man, went insane and completely tried to destroy and rule over the planet. But he was stopped by Invincible. But the flaw is, later on, the thing about it is that Invincible is young and ignorant, and the elders know better. So when Cecil tells him he knows better because he's been defending Earth for generations, he should listen, but he doesn't listen. He literally goes against Cecil thinking he knows better because he thinks he's morally superior.
Abilities I only use to help people.
Who are you helping right now? You see things one way and you won't make room for any other viewpoint. You threaten people who disagree with you.
I don't threaten.
No? Because you're scaring the out of me right now.
I'm not even doing anything. What is this? You think you can shut me up?
Mark?
And that's the whole point. The people in real life, just like in our fictional worlds, these people that think they're morally superior because they know better are actually the villains. They end up turning into the villains themselves, which is the craziest thing. For example, one of the biggest problems with Invincible is that he doesn't let anything that he doesn't believe is morally correct slide. But then when his little brother does something crazy, he has double standards. And this is just like in real life, where people tend to have a high moral standard with everybody, but when it comes to their family or friends, they literally lower the bar so low where it's criminal. And this is a part of the problem as well, not only in TV shows, these series, all these stories just represent real life. It's like no matter what story you go back, like one of my favorite stories is Rurouni Kenshin, also known as Samurai X, and he literally could stop evil. He could literally stop people, but he doesn't because he has his moral belief to use the reverse blade and doesn't want to body anybody. You can't change the world if you're not willing to take away what's actually bad. But the thing about it is, you shouldn't be even have an opinion on making a difference if you're not truly gonna commit to that difference. And it's this moral belief that they think they're doing things right. There's plenty of examples in cartoons and in anime where the real villain is the supposed hero of the story. And that is so clear to me now that it's ridiculous. And usually these people that are morally superior are usually young with the mind of a child, and they're spoiled. That is very essential to the whole thing. All these people are spoiled. They're privileged. They come from a life where they didn't suffer and they didn't have lack. But now they think they're morally superior. As soon as they see evil, they want to react and think they're morally superior to everybody else. For example, the poster boy for being evil and thinking he's superior but being spoiled is Superman. Superman is literally the most OP character in all comic books. He literally controls his city like a dictator. He is a no-nonsense hero because he thinks he could do no evil because he's morally superior. And that completely contradicts Batman's point of view. Because Batman's point of view is that he's morally superior because he does the right thing by not unaliving people and just helping them with probably they'll change and become good. But then Superman sees it for what it is, and he says, no, there's no chance. Superman just sees it what it is, full control or nothing. Literally making him have his own moral belief where he thinks he's right. And they're two opposite sides of the spectrum. They're both wrong. Just believing that you have to impose your moral belief on everything, you're literally making everything worse. All the time. It never goes any way. Just mind your own business and live your life. That's how it goes. But when you're actually going out of your way to impose your own personal morality on the world around you, you technically become the villain and end up making the world a worse place. And it's obvious. The crazy thing about all of this is that all these heroes, what they have in common is that they never suffer. They come from a life of privilege. They come from a loving family. They come from a place where they were spoiled. They're literally all spoiled brats. And they come out of nowhere thinking they know better than anybody, which is the problem to begin with. It's literally the problem to begin with. And then they go crazy trying to impose their own beliefs when they really don't know the different points of views, the how many angles. And the worst thing is that they want to argue with the world that knows better than them because they think they know better, which is literally the most childish thing you could ever do.
You used to be Democrat, then you had a kid. I mean, look, everyone's Democrat, everyone's liberal until something happens to make you grow the fuck up. This is why these leftists in Minnesota are acting like children. They're lacking the maturity to understand what they're doing, what they're fighting for, what the stakes actually are. People really don't have the defining moment that makes them liberal. You're a liberal, then you realize, oh, we have a responsibility to our nation, people, to our culture. This is why they're acting so insane and so savagely, is because they're still immature. They're still acting like children. See, this is the problem as well. It's like, as a mature person, it is almost impossible to argue with an immature person, which is where this issue is arising. We're not on equal footing here. We're trying to deal with children. They lack the cognitive ability to have a discussion about them.
Now, if you're an extreme liberal, you'll probably take offense to that, just like Invincible. And you will literally say, I'm not doing nothing, even though you're literally getting violent as we speak. And that's the whole thing about it. What is my view on politics? I don't want anything to do with it. They're both wrong. There's an extreme right and there's an extreme left, and they're both wrong because they're extreme. I think you should live and let live and mind your damn business. If it doesn't affect you, get the hell out of the way. How are you gonna comment on things that you don't know about? For example, I'm a Puerto Rican, so I have a very particular view of my people, of how I see America, of what I can and can't say. So when you impose your thoughts because you think you're superior, but you're not a Puerto Rican, you haven't gone through the experiences I've gone through, you weren't raised the same way I was raised, you literally cannot see the world through my eyes, and you have no right to judge me for it. You literally don't know nothing. The problem being that you think you do. And that's where the world is broken, because you are probably not old enough to understand how the world and geopolitics and culture and anything works. But everybody likes to pretend they do. If you're not 30 years old or older, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Literally, people, and we live in an era where everybody's a child, all the way up to their 30, and some people take it even further, and they're always a child. I mean, come on, we live in an era where the most common joke is how many people you have in your basement. Like, the world is cooked. Nobody takes anything serious. Everything that's evil is a joke. Worshipping evil is literally everybody's thing, and then everybody thinks they're morally superior to everybody else, and everybody else should really do things their way because they're superior, but then they hold double standards with the people that are close to them. Like, the crazy thing about this is that I think there is no nice people. Like, legitly nice people. A lot of these people, especially the privileged people, they come from a place where they like self-gratification. Like, for example, if they help somebody because they want to self-gratificate themselves. It's satisfying to them to help. They're not helping because they want to help. They help because they want to feel good with themselves because they're helping. They're helping as basically getting points of how good they are and convincing themselves that they're such a morally superior and great person. For example, if you see someone homeless and you give them money, are you giving them money because you think that you're helping them, or because you want to feel good about yourself because you helped them? That's the real question. And after you do that and you realize you make the problem worse because now there's more people out there asking for money because obviously you made it happen. Now did you make a problem or did you solve the problem? What exactly did you do by your morally correct thing? And the crazy thing is a lot of people refuse to accept that they made a mistake. They literally double down with their choices, even though things get worse and worse and worse. It's crazy. So it's crazy to me that this fictional worlds represent our real world. And literally there's places right now, especially in America, that are turning into the Gotham City. Literally Gotham City. And everybody refuses to see that there's a problem. The thing about it is, throughout growing up, is like I say, you will shed who you are like a snake sheds their skin. And you literally become a new person. This is why I believe that now that I go back to all these cartoons and all these animes, I see everything with a different light. I see everything through a different lens because I'm mature enough to actually understand what the hell is going on and who the real evil is. It's literally going back and seeing all these cartoons and seeing all this. It's like Over the Garden Wall is another example. Have you not seen Over the Garden Wall? The person who literally thought they were the hero of the story, doing the right thing, ends up being the villain of the story all along. And this story just continues and continues and continues, like they were always trying to tell us through these cartoons, bro. It's like they were always trying to tell us through these anime, these stories, these movies, this everything. Like, bro, wake the hell up. And it's crazy to me that now I look back and I see everything so different. And I'm like, bro, why? How? And that's how I realized I'm not the same person anymore. I completely changed. I'm not a child. I'm a grown-up. I'm not immature. I have understanding. And a lot of the people in the world are literal children. And that's crazy. I came to that realization and it blew my mind just being a child. Like, you understand, I'm a grown man that sits down and enjoys watching cartoons, enjoys watching anime, for God's sake. Which is crazy because it's this that made me analyze how much of an adult I am to begin with. It's so ironic. It's ironic that through children's media, I realized that I'm a grown man. It's crazy. But now, maybe if you made it this far in the video, you could see those series and cartoons and realize how everything is perspective. How we really don't know anything. How everything is really everybody's different point of view and the world, and how we really should, at least what I believe, is mind our business and just live and let live, because we aren't anybody special to make decisions on anybody else's lives. Like, okay, some things are obviously bad, but a lot of the things are just a matter of perspective, especially when it comes to politics. That's why I don't want anything to do with it, because there's no right way. No side is ever right. It's like in war. Whatever side you are in war, you think you're on the right side. But there is no good guys in war. In war, everybody's evil. It's all perspective. They think they're the good guys doing the right thing, while the other side thinks they're the good guys and doing the right thing. And you gotta be a grown adult and go through a lot of life's experiences to actually see the world like that. And you'll never learn anything if you're in a bubble, spoiled, without experiencing the horrors of the world, without having to go through different points of view in life. And all you have in your life is that one perspective from your own personal bubble, and think you could have an opinion over everybody else's bubble. You understand? The world is way bigger way more complicated, and everything changes. Even if you go to another country, all the rules change. But I just wanted to make this video because it blew my mind seeing all these cartoons again. It just blew my mind how I see everything different. And I wanted to make a video because I wanted to make a video, and there's no other reason. I don't even know if anybody cares about this. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like. It will really greatly help the algorithm or whatever the YouTube thing is. And I appreciate you for even listening to me rant about things that nobody cares about, because the truth is, nobody cares about anything. And it's all about how many people you got in your basement. Peace out, guys.
I'm almost there, flying but I don't care. You and I, we don't die, we survive.